I'm Dr. Anthony Harper here, blessed to be with a member of Knesset Ohad Tal, Religious Zionist Party. I thank you, MK Tal, for joining me and our audience about crucial issues affecting Israel in light of the recent Israel-Iran war. So what has transpired? How would you summarize what has happened since the beginning of the war on June 13th?
In one word, history. History is happening in front of our eyes. It's not just in the 12 days of the war, which of course were miraculous, and I think we've accomplished more than we could even hope for. Not only taking down the entire leadership of the Iranian regime, but ultimately destroying the nuclear plan of the Iranians, that poses a threat to Israel, but not just to Israel, but actually to the entire free world. And thank God we managed to take this threat and bury it under massive pile of rocks and stones. And we also took away the whole missile plan program that was also destroyed. Not all the missiles, but all their manufacturing capabilities been destroyed. And I think we've hurt the regime in a severe way. And I believe that we will see the effect of weakening the regime in many ways. First of all, I do hope and believe that we will see the Iranian people stand up and overthrow the Ayatollahs, because at the end of the day, we have to understand that the Ayatollahs are terrorizing their own people in Iran. So I believe that now that it has been proven that this regime is much weaker, I hope that will encourage more people within the Iranian people to stand up and free themselves from the tyranny of the Ayatollah. So that's from that perspective. But I also believe that we will see the implications on other countries, because Iran, under the Ayatollahs, they have threatened many countries in the region. The Saudis and the many other countries in the Gulf were terrorized by and were threatened by the Iranians. And I believe that we will see more forces in the region realizing that it's a different reality, it's a different world. It has been proven that the regime in Iran are much weaker than they try to present themselves. Also, another thing that has been proven is that their allies, whether it's China or Russia, didn't came for their help. And I believe that will help more moderate forces within Iran and outside of Iran to stand up and overthrow this evil, savage regime.
What would you say the consensus is for Israeli people about the Ayatollahs still in power?
I think, we didn't put overthrowing the regime as part of the war goals. We understand that you cannot decide for the Iranian people who's going to lead them. It's not part of the goals that we've set to ourselves, but it can definitely be the outcome of the operation of this military campaign that we've seen. That the result will be, again, after showing the world that they're much weaker than they presented themselves, then I believe that the result will be overthrowing the regime. And I think there's a broad consensus in Israel that will be very happy if that will happen, but it's not something you accomplish with airplanes and bombs. This is something only the Iranian people can accomplish.
Okay, well, that leads to the question about whether the Iranian people have the weapons in place to overthrow the Iranian government. I mean, they've been in a weak position, oppressed for many years. I mean, the police arrest and threaten with death or kill, dissidents in this. So do the Iranian people really have the weapons that they might need to overthrow this corrupt government?
So I believe that we will see within the establishments of Iran, we will see, and we're already seeing underground moves, because you know that there's a big difference, for example, between the IRGC, the Revolution Guard, and the army of Iran, for example. The army is much more built on the people, while the Revolution Guard they're the close people to the regime. So and also in this operation, we've tried to differentiate between the army, between the people, and the regime. And I believe that will be another incentive for them to use the weapons. And we're already getting a lot of reports, I would say, from many officers in the army who had enough of the regime. And I think that there is a momentum that is being built, and I hope that it will allow this thing to happen.
Well, there's another concern about the Ayatollah's funding of terror proxy groups.
In the past 2 years, is that we basically dismantled the three pillars of the Iranian regime. I mean, they had a whole plan building army forces, the proxies all around the Middle East. That's number one. Number two is the missile, the arsenal of missile, their missile program, and their nuclear program. So the nuclear program is gone. The infrastructure of the missile program is gone. And basically, in the past 2 years, we also dismantled most of their proxy armies in the Middle East. I mean, just the fact that Hezbollah, despite the fact that they were the main army force of Iran, and the whole purpose of Hezbollah was to protect Iran if Israel will attack. And look at the miracle. They didn't dare to do a thing, to launch even one rocket to Israel in this war, because they were afraid, basically, because we took down most of their arsenal. We took down all of their leadership. They've suffered severe damage, and they are on their knees. So thank God that has already happened. Look at the Assad regime, their closest ally of Iran. They're not here anymore. We still have work to do with the Houthis in Yemen and with several other militias in Iraq. But I think we can definitely say that most of their effective army forces have been severely damaged.
Now, there's the concern about Iran getting oil revenue from selling oil to China and to other countries. And Iran has had the history of using their revenue to fund terror proxy groups. Would there also be that concern for Israeli people that Iran is going to be using this to send money to continue to support the Houthis and Hezbollah and Hamas?
We cannot fool ourselves. I mean, the entire purpose and essence of the Iranian regime is to cause chaos, to destabilize the region, to destabilize the world, to destroy Israel as the little Satan, and eventually to destroy America as the big Satan. That's their whole purpose. We have to understand this is a very radical, religious, fundamentalist regime. The Ayatollah Khamenei, he believes that he was sent by God to kill all the infidels, all those who do not believe in Shia Islam, and he believed that Israel and America are the Satan that has to be destroyed. So I don't think he will put aside his beliefs. I don't think they'll put aside the structure and the whole purpose of their existence. And I believe that they will try to pursue every possible way to go back to execute their plans. They have a lot of patience. Unlike Western people like ourselves, they have a lot of patience, and for them it's just a setback eventually. But I do believe that Israel has grown up. We've learned from our mistakes. We've learned from October 7th. We've learned not to allow our enemies to grow their ability to threaten Israel with an existential threat, and we will fight. We will not allow the Iranians to go back and build capabilities that will undermine Israel.
I know that has been actually, the Ayatollah has been referred to as the new Haman. A lot of people may be aware of Purim, about a very evil person by the name Haman that had planned to kill Mordecai. Just wanted to know about this the idea of Ayatollah being a modern Haman. Is that a popular belief amongst the Israeli people?
I think that we are seeing a lot of miracles. We've seen a lot of miracles. We've seen God's hand in this war, unbelievably. That this is beyond imagination. Just the fact that is a tiny Israel, because people has to remember that Israel is such a tiny, tiny country, only the size of New Jersey, and yet, as I've said, we've succeeded to overcome the horrible massacre of October 7th. The Iranians and all our enemies, they expected Jews to run away, to leave Israel and to run away, to go back to Europe. This is what they hope to accomplish. And not only did it didn't happen, we've seen tens and hundreds of thousands of Jews coming to Israel after October 7th, joining the war, and look about what has happened. I mean, the Middle East today is different than what it was on October 6th. A whole different. Lebanon is not the same thing. Hezbollah is not the same thing. Syria is not the same. Iran is not the same. Iraq is not the same. Hamas, Islamic Jihad in Judea and Samaria, in Gaza, they've all not in the same place. The Houthis in Yemen. We are seeing a different reality in the Middle East, and you can only make that happen when you have God on your side. I think we've seen again unbelievable miracles. Just the fact that we managed to send our planes 2,000 kilometers away from Israel to control the airspace of Iran, to manage to take down all the leadership. I mean, this is not something you can accomplish if you don't have God on your side. If you are not seeing the story of Purim, as you have said, if you're not seeing Haman being bitten, all of his evil plan is getting back at him. I mean, this is what we are seeing, exactly what we've seen in the Bible. The same story happens. I've spoken to one of the pilots who told me that, just the miracle, the unbelievable miracle of the weather, because he said that the weather that allows to fly from here with an aircraft to bomb in Tehran. There's so many obstacles only in regard to the weather, and in these 12 days, they had a great weather that didn't cause them any harm and any setback. I mean, this is an unbelievable miracle. The fact that despite the fact that that they were warned by Hezbollah, because they've seen the airplanes, and they were warned by Hezbollah that we are coming, and yet we've managed to take all of the leadership in their beds because they didn't got this message. I mean, and there's so many stories I can tell about unbelievable miracles that happen to us, and that can only happen when you have God on your side.
Well, clearly, a lot of evangelical Christians believe that God is clearly behind Israel, is so supportive of Israel. I would say the majority of Christian people. And so if people, of course, want to know more about the story of Haman, they can read that in the Jewish book of Esther. But thank you, MK Tal, for joining our audience on these so important issues affecting Israel. And I'm encouraged.
Just to add one last thing, I want to say that I think it's also what we've seen is also important, extremely important for America. And I think people has to understand in America that we didn't fight only for ourselves. We did fight also for America. Just the fact that this evil alliance of China, Iran, and Russia, what they want to do is not just to cause harm to Israel. What they really want to do is to take dominance from America. They want to take global domination, and this is what they're hoping to achieve. And Israel is the best aircraft carrier that America has. We are the boots on the ground. We are doing the hard work of America. We are protecting America's interests in the region in the Middle East, which is the most significant region in the world, because that's where all the energy of the world comes from. And this is why people has to understand that we are not just fighting our war. I mean, if God forbid, if this alliance of China, Iran, and Russia would getting stronger, the first to pay the price is America. And thank God this alliance is now is much weaker. And I think just the fact that President Trump joined Israel, allow us to supported us in taking away the nuclear plan from the Iranians. I think, again, first of all, it takes away the threat, the imminent immediate threat to America, but it also helps to serve the bigger interests of America in the world, and especially in the Middle East. So we are in this alliance, we are in this together. And as Prime Minister Netanyahu said in Congress, our enemies are your enemies, our fight is your fight, and our victory will be your victory. And I think this is what we are seeing today.
I know it's very clear that President Trump in the U.S. has been very impactful in obliterating those nuclear sites. And so we wait to see what's going to be happening next for the Iranian people in rising up. And thank you, MK Tal, for joining our audience.
My pleasure. Thank you so much.